This episode is sponsored by Caddy Shack Bistro, your favorite new watering hole. Located next to Crust Pizza Company on Spring Cypress and Champions Forest Drive in Spring, Texas. A place where dreams come true. The finest spirits, wine, and tasty food. It's where the locals go. Use code BeerNerd20 to get 20% off your next order.
I want to know what you're thinking.
Ready, Chris?
There are some things you can't hide. I want to know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Front Row Negative, the podcast. We are back after a little bit of a hiatus. We took some time off to recuperate from doing nothing, but we are back, and thanks for joining. I'm Aaron, and I'm joined by that boy.
Yes, sir. That boy. Here comes that boy, Chris.
Here comes that, but you're not a frog.
I mean, sometimes I feel froggy, man. You got to jump every now and then, right?
You almost felt froggy, this past weekend whenever we watched Mania, but we'll save that for a later episode. So, but there were no unicycles though. You didn't have any unicycles.
No, I was too busy cooking stuff on the grill. You know that, buddy. I hadn't the time for my unicycle, man.
Those delicious burgers and boudin balls. Very good. So we are joined today by a guest. We got a guy that's local to Houston. He's pretty prevalent in what we call the Houston horror community. I found him by way of somebody else who I guess tagged me in something, and I couldn't see the tag until I joined the group. So I joined it. It's pretty great, and he's also he's creating something that's here in Houston that we've kind of seen before, like a promotional work for. But we'll let him talk all about that after we introduce him. And we've got Joe Denton on with us today. So how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. I'm really happy to be here. So thank you guys for having me today.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for
of course.
giving us your time to do all this.
You bet.
Yeah. So Houston Horror Fest. I have to ask about that. That is that your love child? Is that your baby?
No. This man. It's ran by Tony Rodriguez. It's ran by Scott Fontenot. Those are the guys that run that. That's their baby.
That's their baby. Okay.
I'm good friends with all of those guys. I helped them a lot with social media on it, and back in I think 2019 we'd all be talking about it, and I wanted to help in any way I could. So I started the Houston horror community, and just trying to build a more of a horror community here in Houston. It had been lacking for so many years, and now it seems to be really coming together. It's pretty amazing to watch.
Well, I know that, for the last almost, I want to say like maybe over a decade, when you think like a horror community in Texas, Dallas is the first one that comes to mind due to Texas Frightmare. Texas Frightmare has kind of taken over the Texas horror convention scene for a long time. And I know I started going to that in 2008, and I went probably about 6 or 7 times since. And I know I brought Chris along once or twice to that show. How many times has it been? Once or twice?
I think twice so far. Yeah. And then like COVID and bullshit like that. So
Yeah, that haven't been since 2019. So, but that was kind of like our yearly trip, or my yearly trip was to go to that just to enjoy the whole thing of it.
Absolutely, amazing show.
Yes, very crowded. Very crowded.
Very crowded.
Yeah, if you're claustrophobic, or you do have the fear of being in large groups of people, you will get a little overwhelmed because of how close people get. And I think on top of that, with the bad cell reception at that convention, it just makes it even worse.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not the great. Even if you're free roaming, it's not great at all. It's really not.
Will you be attending this year?
I honestly, I will not be doing this year. I know last year, or take it back, in 2020, when they canceled it, it rolled over to 2021. And if you couldn't make 2021, it rolled over to this year. You were able to get that final rollover for your room and for your tickets to this year. That's right. I gave my tickets away, but for some reason the room wasn't needed. So then I want to say in beginning of January, I got the notification, hey, your room's still for you. And I had to go and officially cancel my room to get me out of it, because I wasn't going to be able to go anyways.
Right.
I want to go, but I can't.
The best ways to go is to stay at the host hotel, you know. So.
Oh yeah,
definitely, man.
And try to stay on the lowest floor you can, because those elevators get crowded.
Crazy.
those elevators get always so crowded. But how many of those have you gone to TFWs?
To the Texas Frightmare, I've actually been to 2. I think it was 2019 and 2021.
Oh wow, so you went recently then?
Yeah, I've been to the last 2 shows they've had on, and I'll be going at the end of the month too.
Oh, nice,
cool.
Yeah, well, like for us, for the even the comic book fans, Texas Frightmare has always had the curse of falling on Free Comic Book Day.
Okay, yes.
And if you're a comic book fan, you've got to choose: either wake up early, go wait in line for your free comics, or you go to Texas Frightmare weekend and enjoy that whole thing, and hopefully able to score some of those free comics for a decent price on eBay. So that's kind of always been the curse for comic fans who are also horror fans. So
absolutely,
definitely. So what guests have you met like in the past at Texas Frightmare?
At Frightmare, man, so many.
Or who are your favorites that you've met there? Like, your top 3 or top 2.
Well, R.A. Melhoff, that guy was so fun to hang out with. He at the show afterward. He likes to drink his whiskey. He's fun to hang out with afterward. So many stories. Looking forward to meeting Matthew Lillard. I've actually never met him, so I'll be meeting him this year.
Okay.
Zoinks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't help myself, man. He's awesome. It's just I have a soft spot for
he's been there several times, and I always see the reviews that he's always a super nice guy. Mm-hmm. He makes time for everyone. He talks to everybody. Yep. He is one of the most I guess fan servicing celebrities that they've had. Absolutely. Funny enough, the second most person that they've had have there is also from the Scream series, and that's David Arquette. He's always been super fan friendly. He'll go out of his way to talk to everybody, give them hugs, high five them, do whatever to send the fan home happy. So it's funny that those two from Scream, but mainly Matthew Lillard has always gotten that reception of being super fan friendly. So
yeah, for sure. I look forward to meeting him. Felissa Rose. How about Felissa Rose? That lady right there. I mean, she's been doing some Texas shows here for over the last couple of years, and that lady right there.
She's been everywhere in the last 6 years. I want to say I've seen her everywhere, and she does the face. She has the pose of the face. If you don't know who Felissa Rose is, if you've seen Sleepaway Camp, that's who it is. Because there are some people who still haven't seen that movie, even though it's been out forever.
Yeah, she's that lady from that part of that movie.
Yes, but the face, the ending scene with the face, and she does that face with the picture poses,
which is awesome.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun. But yeah, I've never actually met her. I've seen her table. I've seen I've passed by and I've said I waved hi, but I've never paid to meet her or anything yet.
Oh man, I recommend it. She's a sweetheart.
Plus, she's easy on the eyes, man. That's
still is.
I'm just saying. I mean, I think it's worth noting. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Absolutely, yeah. She's fun to hang out with too.
That's cool, awesome. Man. That's awesome. But yeah,
I think it's cool when you meet your people that you like at those cons and stuff like that, and then like you said, you get a chance to hang out with them on a personal level, and they end up being like real just down to earth and level head. You're like, man, all my preconceived notions have been shattered.
Right.
Oh, well, one of the best times at Texas Frightmare was when the last time they had David Arquette there. Because if you went to the prom or the dance party after Saturday night, Dave Arquette was there, and he bought everybody around to drinks. He wanted to party. He wanted to party.
He is a party
yes.
animal.
He is. And
That's
then
awesome.
he went outside and started bumming cigarettes off everybody outside smoking too. So it was even better. and the funniest part was that he went up to somebody and goes, "Hey, can I bum a cigarette?" And the guy gives him cigarettes. He goes, "What is this? This is menthols." And he hands it back to the guy and goes to somebody else. That's for another cigarette.
Oh,
Funny
God.
guy.
Totally.
Super great guy. But yeah, that's awesome to hear that they're going to go at the end of this month to Texas Farmer, because that one's always been.
I'm excited. It's always fun.
Badass, man.
One of the best things about that convention is that you could drink on the floor. You go walk around with your beer, and it is the best feeling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely the best.
You can also do that at Houston Horror Film Festival.
You can. Okay.
It's not frowned upon.
It's not frowned upon. That's good, because sometimes you need to have that to deal with. If there's any odor in the air due to other horror fans who are walking around, you definitely need that beer in your hand to kind of get past that.
I know.
So,
especially a weekend long con.
Yes,
those smells start coming out sooner or later.
You kidding, man?
So you said you've been helping out with Houston Horror Film Fest. How long have you been helping out with? Like, is this will this be your third year? This will be your fourth year?
I've been with been helping behind the scenes with them since 2019.
Wow.
I don't. When I'm there, I don't wear a staff shirt or anything like that. I'm those guys are just my family. I do whatever they need me to do. I volunteered to help with the on their Facebook fan group, Houston Horror Film Festival official Facebook group, and volunteered to start Houston Horror Community and see how well that went. And it was really slow at first, and to be expected.
Yeah.
And and it's gained its ground. We're about to hit 1,000 members, and that's going to be a milestone for us. Houston Horror Film Festival official group is well over 2,000 people. It's doing really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's fun.
So have you had a favorite guest there that that you've always wanted to meet, or has that grail not been hit yet?
Yeah, it's just it can be overwhelming just to be just to get to see and meet everybody. And the guys I know, Tony and Scott, they're so good to me. After the shows, we're when it all shuts down, we're hanging out and having a good time and hanging with the celebrities. It's amazing. I'm a lucky guy to be friends with these guys.
That's awesome.
Have you ever had the opportunity to go to the airport and pick up some of the talent and stuff in the airport and stuff like that?
Scott has asked me to once before. Unfortunately, I was working at the time and I wasn't able to do it for him.
I would have totally done that. It was funny because I had a friend of mine back in the day that was working for Calling Palooza, and he was asked to pick up a wrestler from the airport, and so he did that. And when he picked up said wrestler, first thing the wrestler asked him was like, "Hey man, where can I get some pot in this town?"
For sure, yeah.
And the funny thing is, the guy he asked, off-duty police officer.
Oh no!
Oh man. Let's just put it this way: the guy who asked for the wrestler who asked for the pot was the best there is at what he does. So put it that way.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Hey, it's that's wow.
Listen, man, pain management's a thing. You know what I mean? Come on.
Absolutely.
At this point, why are we even? It's a tax thing. It's all it is. It's just a tax thing.
A tax thing. Well, yeah. I mean, hey, KFC somewhere, right?
That's right, man.
Right. There's always a KFC somewhere. Hopefully,
for sure.
So what guest? So if you're gonna book the guest yourself, is there one guest that you want to bring in that has not made it to Houston yet?
Oh yeah, of course. There's a lot of people on. I think on Scott's mind, on Tony's mind, and on Troy's mind. Troy Escamilla.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a big fan of I went blank. American Horror Story. I love collecting autographs from American Horror Story, and so I want to bring in as many of those people as I can possibly all I can do is request it and see what happens. But
Okay.
The show still has a big following, man.
oh man, I love that show.
Oh yeah, that show's not gonna go anywhere. It's got a giant following. I mean, I think it's Warner Brothers that owns it, or I forget who owns it. But I know,
honestly, I don't know who owns it.
but I do know that I see a ton of merch of American Horror Story. So
For sure, yeah.
it's always a super popular thing. I know the series with Lady Gaga, and then what they had Aliens versus Vampires recently.
Yeah.
So it's always super just popular with that. But yeah, like any particular season from that series, or just
I love the first season. The second season was really dark. It was called Asylum.
yes.
Wasn't a big fan of it the first time I saw it. Going back and watching it as a horror fan, after some years had passed, I really saw how dark it really was, and kind of blew my mind. It's that's definitely one of my favorite seasons.
Awesome. That's really cool. I guess one of the Coven. No, go ahead. Because I started watching the first season of American Horror Story and I couldn't get into it. I tried, and I kind of gave up on it. So
yeah, I got you.
I tried. I really tried. I try to give everything a chance. I try to give everything a chance, and maybe I'll go back to it to try it again. Because honestly, I had to do that with Sons of Anarchy, and that became one of my favorites. So
very true. Yeah, sometimes I gotta go back and revisit something to see if it was good, like The Witch. I don't know how you guys feel about The Witch. I did not like that movie when I first saw it, and I decided, a few years later to go back and revisit The Witch, and that movie is amazing. That movie is dark. I like dark. I like dark, and that one had it all, man. There's a lot of undertones in that movie that a lot of people miss, and I think that's why it's frowned upon in the horror community so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I didn't really pick up on either, because I think that was one of the first A24 films, wasn't it? One of the first ones that became one of their first heavy hitters.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people had a lot of preconceived notions about what it would be, because you're thinking like, oh, it's Puritan, outcast, and things. So we're going to see some really weird satanic shit. I think what made that film good for me, and I'm sorry, I know I'm by the way, Joe, I'm the blabbermouth of this podcast. So when we go off the rails, it's like 99.9% my fault. So here we go. I didn't know what to expect when I first watched it, because I was thinking, okay, well, horror movies go through these swings of different feels. We have, I think we're still recovering from jump scare apocalypse right now. And how many movies can you have the Warrens in? Like, I mean, I'm sick of the same old shit. So when this movie came out, I was like, okay, well, my expectations are low. So if you can't be disappointed, if you're already disappointed when you walk in, but watching it at home, it was way different, because it really speaks to the idea of what you don't see, or it's really, and plus it's very much a psychological horror, because it uses your imagination against you. I like that about that movie, and a lot of the movies that A24 does. Like, what was that one with the sheep? The half baby, half sheep person.
Wasn't it called
Lamb? That's another one that fucked my head up, because I was
thinking a completely different movie. I thought you were talking about Black Sheep, the horror version of Black Sheep.
I haven't seen Lamb yet.
Lamb's interesting, man, but
I'm a big fan of A24 though.
Hey, I mean, they're doing different stuff. I think they did The Green Knight, right? And so we're getting something unique and different, and I'm all for that. But anyway, my point was, and I think I've gone on record saying this before, the things that scare me the most as a fan of horror are the things that I don't see. If you leave me to my imagination, you leave me to my own, make me get in my own head, then I'm gonna fuck myself up worse than any blood splatter or shock value death scene you could possibly show me.
Right.
That's true.
And the Witch did that for me. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think the Witch was really done. I mean, when I went, my first, I guess, vision of the Witch, before I saw the movie, I knew about the Witch as a movie. And my first indication of it is that me and another friend went to Mondo Fest or MondoCon, and they were like re-releasing like a whole bunch of like witch Mondo prints that looked amazing. They looked so good, and I'm like, okay, that looks cool. I'm probably not going to see it. I'm not bad. I'm not into the witchcraft type movies, and that's not my thing. But then I kept hearing people talk about how good it was and how it's visually good. It's visually good. So I watched it, and I started. I got into it, and I was enjoying it about the Puritan life and everything. But I think the ending scene, whenever what you think is going to happen, something completely different happens, and there's that twist. I'm like, okay, wasn't I expecting that? I like that. This is a good movie. I like The Witch. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
It was really good.
Did you guys catch the what happened? Spoiler alert. I don't know if I can do that here.
You could do that here. That movie's old.
Spoiler alert on The Witch. Did you guys catch what happened with the baby that went disappearing in the beginning?
No, what happened to that? I didn't.
You know how it went disappearing, and then you really didn't see much about it later. Well,
Yeah,
you saw that witch in the woods, and she had a bowl, and she was mushing up this stuff in the bowl.
That's the baby, right? That was the baby, right?
She mushed it up, and here's a dark part about that is Roger Eggers really went and did his research on actual witchcraft, like dark witchcraft, and there's a spell that if you were to take and crush up the flesh of a baby and its bones and rub the contents all over your body, that's what will make you lift the ground when you can fly on a broom. See, it was really kind of interesting in that point. I don't know. I think a lot of people missed that, but
I missed that. I definitely missed that part.
It's pretty gross, but
so it's pretty fucked up implication.
Yeah.
So
sure.
his sister was like, "I will wear my brother, and I can fly away."
Yeah, I definitely missed that, but that opening with that scene was also used in the opening for Lords of Salem, where they did that as well. But the difference is, I guess, context, and it's context for the story versus shock value for the story. And
right.
I remember reading Lords of Salem, Rob Zombie's Lords of Salem, and reading that, I'm like, okay, this is a shocking opening. And then it had nothing to do with the rest of the story. That was it. It was just a shock value read that got you into the book, and then nothing else happened.
Gotcha.
Versus The Witch, as you're saying, it plays a pivotal role. Because I remember when that happened, I'm like, okay, this is part of the dark Salems and everything. So definitely a bigger meaning for it to happen in that movie for that one. But definitely. The Witch, I thought it was great. I thought it was real well done.
Oh,
I think one of the things that I think the one things that really hurt it was around the same time you had Vin Diesel's Last of the Witch Hunters that came out around the same time, which I think people got confused with that because
very forgettable movie. Yes,
because you had people who whenever asked them like, "Hey, how was The Witch?" and they're like, "Which one?" And like like the one with Black Phillip. I'm like, "Oh, the one with Vin Diesel?" No, the one with Black Phillip. And so it was. Bad timing. It's like Bugs Life and Bugs Life and Ants came out at the same time. So it wasn't good. But yeah, I think The Witch is a very good horror movie, very underrated, at what it visually brought. Lords of Salem, however, visually stunning shot, is a trashly directed movie. It just it wasn't well done. And I've gone on this show and other forums several times. I believe that Lords of Salem was Rob Zombie's love letter to his wife for her to give him a blowjob. Because if you read the book, he paints himself, he describes the priest in the book as himself. And several times in the book, he has his wife's character give the priest a blowjob for no reason other than to make her wake up from a bad dream. It is very dumb.
Gotcha.
Very dumb.
When I first saw that movie, it was the biggest letdown because I didn't know what to expect, and I actually revisited it a couple months ago, and I liked it a little bit better. It wasn't, man, I love Dee Wallace. There's some great actors and actresses in there, but
it's just badly written.
It really wasn't there for me so much.
I mean, it's visually stunning. The lighting effects and the atmosphere is good.
Well, sure, yeah.
But the story, the way they directed it, the editing, it's just not. It feels rushed, just like the book, because the book was getting good until the last two chapters, and then it feels just rushed. It just
Right.
feels really rushed, and you don't get much of anything out of it. And sadly, that's part of Rob Zombie's writing ability, is that he wants to get to a point, and then he has to wrap it up, and he doesn't know how to do it. He just kind of speeds through it. It's like he just went through and marked B for every answer on his test on the last part. But The Witch, really well done. Lords of Salem,
two different levels there.
Two different levels.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are other some of your favorite horror movies? What's your top five?
Well,
and no
anybody
order.
that knows me knows that my what got me into it was Poltergeist. That was my first taste of fear as a kid, and that kind of brought me into it.
Oh,
and,
yeah, the clown.
Yeah.
You're the owner of the clown, right?
Yeah, I own the Poltergeist clown.
Oh yeah. Nix, Christine Nix, always lets me know. Oh yeah, Joe Denton did the clown.
Yeah, they did a heck of a job on it. I actually have I have a second one being built right now. Just everybody listening, don't say nothing. But I got a screen accurate one being built right now. Hopefully it'll debut at Houston Horror Film Festival. We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah, I thought you were saying that one that I've seen pictures of was the real one. I was like, holy crap!
I thought that was the real one. Yeah, I thought that was a good replica of that one.
Oh yeah. Well, it's actually quite a bit larger than the original. This one was 7 feet tall. It was actually amazing last year at Houston Horror Film Festival, working with Oliver Robbins and bringing the clown to really. He loved it. He loved having the clown there. He felt like it was his co-star. I still talk to him today. He'd like to meet up with me again and do some more shows down the line and be a lot of fun.
Man.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, I saw that, and because Nix would share that all over the place about the clown, and I'm like, man, that's awesome. I'm glad that that was made, because that thing looks amazing. Like,
yeah,
it
a lot
looks
of fun
great.
to have.
It looks.
It stares
really
at me every night before I go to sleep.
That's what I was going to say, man. Where do you keep that thing in your house?
It's huge, man. It's 7 foot tall. Yeah, it sits in the corner of my room.
Hopefully, I
say that, or you got a big ass bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Poltergeist is the first part of your top five, and that's when they got you into it. So that's a good one. That's a good movie to get into it too, because that's
well, for sure. Because I mean, it was 1984.
Yeah, 80s.
It was rated PG, but I mean, if it was rated on today's standards, that PG wouldn't fly.
Oh no,
that movie was scary in its time, and I still think it holds up pretty well in most aspects. It really does. Steven Spielberg, and that was the first film that introduced. I was scared.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
About how old?
I'm hooked.
About how old were you when you saw it?
I was born in 1978, so I was 6 when it came out. I probably saw it when I was about seven and a half.
Okay. Wow, that's young for that one. I mean, I went through all 3 movies last year because I never saw part 3. I vaguely remember part 2, but I've watched part 1 here and there over the last few years. But I went through and watched all 3 of them last year, and I just it was like, man, this is PG. Pizza Hut, right? Pizza Hut and a pitcher of beer, and then Poltergeist. Man, just those are the times. Those are the times.
Ball game, man. Yeah,
for sure, man. And I just props to Poltergeist too. That was a hell of a sequel.
Oh yeah, that one definitely was.
Oh yeah,
that one definitely was. I mean, you had Craig T. Nelson in there, as the dad, who would later go on to be Mr. Incredible. Oh, the old man.
That guy's scary.
Creepy old bastard.
Yeah. He was pretty creepy. There's
an urban myth. I don't know how true it is, but I know over in the Crosby area here, not too far from Houston, supposedly that's where the real house is, but you never know.
That is correct. I've been wanting to go visit over there.
Oh wow!
It was in the movie to go on what you're talking about. On the movie, it was a what was it? it was the houses were buried over a cemetery and everything like that.
Yeah.
And in actuality, where online it says where Stephen King got the idea, or not Steven Spielberg got the idea to do the movie. It was right outside of Houston by Crosby, and story about this where they built some houses over the graves of it was a slave graveyard, and they didn't move the graves, and it's very interesting, actually. If I highly recommend it if anybody's listening. If you look up the true story or the backstory of Poltergeist, it's a very interesting read.
Well, I know
what's crazy is my. I'm sorry, just real quick. I just want to interject, and I know it's my job, and I apologize sincerely, but
no, you don't.
No, I don't. My goddaughter, she lives in that neighborhood. One of my best friends from when I was growing up, they literally live in that neighborhood in particular.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Cool.
anytime we're over there, I always told my wife, like, "Hey, you want to go see the Poltergeist house?" She's like, "No, don't drive by there." God.
I've always meant to drive by there. I should bring the
Interesting,
clown with
man.
me.
Do it. Yeah, take some pictures out of her. No, I was just gonna say that there's a documentary series on Shudder called Kurt that talks about the movie curses, like the movies and stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Poltergeist, and they talk about Poltergeist a lot on
Yes.
there. And I remember hearing about that and reading the curses for it, like along with the little girl that died, the sports poster in the background that came true, all that stuff, all the situations with that movie is on that Shudder documentary, which is amazing. So the fact that it's outside of Houston, that area where that was the inspiration. That's just
so odd. It makes you. That just begs another question: what the hell was Steven Spielberg doing in Crosby?
Hey, he's phoning home.
I don't think he was in Crosby. I just think he heard about it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or
maybe he was. I don't know.
Well, here's the question.
Locations or whatever.
Here's the question. Then, did you watch the remake?
The biggest letdown, man. I've seen a lot of terrible remakes, but I mean, I'm done with that one.
That one was.
I'm such a big fan of the first one. I just can't do that one.
I think what got me was when they did the drone through the portal. Like that did not need to be shown. Keep the mystery. Right. You don't need to explain everything. Keep the mystery. That's
for sure.
That's the curse of modern horror, man. They hold your hand through everything. It's like, give me some fucking credit. Like, I mean,
they have to.
I knew it was going to be a letdown before it came out when they announced that it was going to be PG-13. I was like, well, we missed the mark.
Yeah,
exactly.
Most definitely. So I feel you on that one. So what are your other favorites? What are some of your other favorites?
My other big fan of Friday the 13th franchise. I know.
Okay. Wait, hold on. With Friday the 13th, I have to ask this question because in every fandom horror group, there's always team this versus team that for Friday the 13th. Roy, good or bad? Are you team Roy or team no Roy?
5. I love part 5. It was a good break in between the whole storyline. Roy was amazing.
I thought Roy was great. Right. I thought Friday Part 5 was something that needed to be done. I enjoyed it. What I've really talked about is like him being a break was well done. Now, was the surprise and was the red herring of Roy throughout the whole show done well? No, because you only see him for like a blink in the very beginning, and then that's it.
No, I agree 100% on that. The first few times I saw it, especially the first time, I was so confused. I was like, huh? But watching it nowadays, I don't know, probably just because I'm a big fan. I just enjoy them all. Most actually, not all. Most
of them.
I know there's a lot of big fans of Halloween out there, and rightfully so. It's a pretty awesome franchise out there, and it's it's a milestone, as for Michael Myers as far as being a slasher. He's one of the originals. He's just not one of my favorites, and I'm sorry to anybody listening.
Well, no, that's fine because I think within the last 5 years, it's the Halloween fandom is really strange and really kind of twisted because you'll have people who love everything Michael Myers. It's great.
Sure.
But they love all of them, but they hate part 3. Then you have ones that love only the Rob Zombie remakes. Then you have people who only love parts 1, 2, and 3, and then for some reason 6, H2O, and Resurrection. And then you have other people who just like 1, 2, and then the last 2 movies that just came out, the 2018
Right.
and Kills. So
It's got a wild storyline.
it does. Halloween has a wild storyline and a wild timeline, but it's got nothing on the Godzilla timeline. Don't even try to follow that. Don't even try to follow that 35 movie plus series. You can't. It's confusing.
Yeah.
But with Halloween, you got a lot of passionate fandom in that series, but a lot of crazy people who don't know what they're talking about sometimes with that series.
Yeah, I know.
And it's
True story.
a lot of fun. But I love the shirts. I love the Halloween shirts.
Yeah,
So.
me too. And to reiterate, I'm not like a fan of Halloween. He's just one of my least favorite slashers.
Yes,
I am a big fan of Halloween 1978. I love the part 2. I'm a fan of part 3.
Yeah.
Those are awesome movies. Just not my favorite.
I feel you on that. I definitely I enjoy the Halloween, the first 3 movies, and even the one with Paul Rudd. I enjoy that one too. But some of those movies are just out of bounds, and I don't know what is happening, even when I rewatch them half the time, just because of what they were throwing at the wall to try to make stick, and it's just they happen.
Yeah, what was the Paul Rudd one with the tattoo, the clan or whatever? The clan they were trying to push as a like a group or whatever.
The cult, yeah.
Yeah, the cult. I'm sorry. Yeah, what was the cult called?
Oh, I can't think of the name right now. It's the Sawway. It's the Sawway cult.
Yeah.
You talking about the tattoo on the wrist?
Yeah, the tattoo on the wrist. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
And there's people like listening to this, like, it's this and this, you dumb idiots.
You're screaming at their phone.
Right.
Yeah. and I know this. I know this. I just can't think of it right now. It's
horror fan, huh? You call yourself a fan?
You know what? I'm having. God dang it! I'm gonna look at it.
It's on the tip of my tongue too. I can't. But you know what? That was those. Anything after part 4 and 5. I like 5 was good.
It's called Thorn.
Yeah.
Thorn.
Yeah. That's it.
Thorn. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of that, man.
I was like in the middle typing in Halloween wrist tattoo, and as soon as I hit enter, I thought Thorn in my head. Yeah, it was the Thorn group. Stupid Paul Rudd.
Didn't that come in part 5, or was that later?
No, that was part 6, and then
That
they
was
tried to
part 6.
and then they tried to do it again with other. No, was it part 4 and 5? Yeah, 4, 5, and 6. They tried to do it in the background. The guy in black. So.
Oh, they never paid it off. Yeah.
Well, it depends on which cut of part 6 you watch. If you watch the director's cut, it gets a payoff. If you don't watch the director's cut, you're just highly disappointed. So either way,
that's the same one that had the cops with the stupid comedy music and stuff when they were doing stuff, right?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Part 6 was the one that had like the radio jock DJ that was like the Howard Stern off Wish that was coming to their town. Yeah, it was. It wasn't good. It really wasn't good, but it's so stupid. I like it. So. Well,
you self-deprecating bastard.
But they kind of trace it back to Houston Horror and Film Fest. The star of parts 4, 5, and the remakes will be there. Danielle Harris will be there.
Absolutely, they were last year, and we got Danielle and not Kristen
Taylor Scout.
Taylor, yeah. Scout Taylor Compton, she's going to be there. She's amazing, man. Both of them are. Get your photo ops while they can. They're already selling out fast.
I'll say this. When I went to my first Texas Frightmare, Danielle Harris, Taylor Scout, and a third girl were all there promoting the Halloween remake, and they were there signing autographs at $40 per girl to get the autograph for the poster. But this was before a trailer had ever been released. There was no trailer. There was no nothing. The only thing we knew was that there was a Halloween coming out. And so you had that really basic, simple like outline of the hand with the knife silhouette poster that they would all sign for $120. But you didn't know if it was going to be good or not. You had no idea of what was going to happen. You just had to take a wild guess and have a good bank account for that $120 to get a poster. And I remember them sitting there and they wouldn't allow anybody to talk to him. They wouldn't allow anybody to do anything with him unless you were buying the autographs, and it kind of sucked. So
Wow.
Yeah, like that was probably one of the worst parts of that Frightmare was that they had them so guarded, but they wouldn't. You didn't know anything about the movie. You didn't really know anything about that movie because this is before a trailer. This is before even like Entertainment Weekly pictures or anything. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make it difficult for me to spend the
What
money
year was
that
that?
was.
2008. That was in 2008.
Okay.
May of 2008. So yeah, it was really weird. But I remember them all three being there, and I'm like, man, but I want to know what I want to see the trailer first. I know I don't have that money. I was still in college at that time.
For
hey, what's
sure.
going on? Yeah,
I'm sure they had a
Right.
ton of people do it though.
I only saw 5 people carrying around the poster.
Really? No
I
kidding.
only saw 5 at that time. So
Those are the true hardcore fans, Aaron.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Halloween. What else you got?
Well, I got to say, another one of my favorite people that we've had at Houston Horror Film Festival. He comes from the indie horror scene.
Uh-huh.
And shout out to Drew Marvick. That dude is amazing.
Oh, he's great. He gives warm hugs.
He does give warm hugs. He's his personality, his social media. He's entertaining every day. I don't know if you guys follow Drew Marvick on Facebook and Instagram, but you should.
I do. I follow him.
Yeah,
Actually,
look into that.
a few months or weeks ago, I did like a death metal picture of him, like a death metal illustration of him.
I saw that. That was amazing, by the way.
That was me. I did one for him, and I did one for
cool.
Bloody Bill. I did one for him and for Bloody Bill.
Billy Pond.
Yeah, Billy Pond. So yeah,
he's
Drew
a cool
Marvick's
dude
awesome.
too, man.
He's awesome. Pool Party Massacre is such a fun movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Such a good movie. Yeah, I want to have him on eventually with us just to talk horror and stuff.
Definitely.
Because
I know Scott Fontenot would like to get on here with you too, brother.
Oh, hey, you know what? If he's listening to this, Scott, hit me up. Hit me up, bro.
Holler at your boys.
Holler at
If
us.
you will.
We will have you on, and we will talk horror with you too. We will definitely do that.
Scott's the man.
So, are you saying that Drew Marvick will be out there for a Houston Horror Film Fest?
You know, I don't have that confirmed yet. I have a sneaky suspicion, but I don't know that for sure yet.
So
no breaking news here, huh?
Right.
I'm gonna have to go buy a ticket if he's gonna be there because he's so much fun.
He's cool, man.
He's so much. Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I've met him at Texas Frightmare a few times, and he's always been a really cool guy. So that, and I know lately, me and him have been like he'll tag his picture when he's drinking coffee, and I'll respond back with myself drinking coffee as well to kind of show the coffee drinking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's awesome.
He's always a fun guy. He's definitely fun. So what are some of your favorite horror movies?
Some of my other favorite horror movies, The Gate. That movie scared me when I was a kid, man. Anything that really kind of caught my attention as a kid and scared me, and it gave me this like anxiety at night where I didn't want to sleep. But then when I finally went to sleep, I woke up and I had to wake up and like to watch horror movies. I was not allowed to watch them at my house. I had to sneak up in the middle of the night and go watch HBO late at night and watch the Friday the 13th or whatever. I caught The Gate one night. I think it was on Showtime or something like that when I was real little. And oh man, I didn't get any sleep that night. So anything like that, it just kind of fed into my my love of horror. It's I don't know. Once it's in you, it doesn't leave you. So
that is very true. That is, like once you watch that one that catches you, you're hooked. You're definitely.
I want to meet Joe Dante. He's still alive, right?
Amazing.
Yeah, he's still alive.
I think so.
Okay.
He's still alive.
I want to tell him about how much I love the Gremlins, right?
Mm-hmm. But
Gremlins forced me for a big part of my childhood into my teenage years to sleep with my legs folded Indian, quote unquote, crisscross applesauce, Indian style. However you want to say. Well, I'm sorry, 2022 crisscross applesauce. Hey man, look, I'm just trying to cover my bases. I ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings. So
hey, well then don't watch Yellowstone.
Crisscross applesauce. I want to tell him, hey man, I love how your movies ruined my ability to sleep like a normal child for my whole entire childhood.
Right. I absolutely love Gremlins. It's a
Oh,
great
dude.
movie to watch
Yeah,
growing up
because
as a kid.
my imagination again, like I was just like I'd be laying in bed. This is when you're a kid, your mom don't let you stay up and keep the TV on when you go to bed, right? So you're sitting there, and it's dead ass silent. The house, every little sound, you're just like your eyes go boop, and you're just like, whoa, what the hell's that?
Yeah.
And so like every time I
true.
hear something, I in my mind's eye, I'd see like the little stripe down there with those little fingers just trying to get my feet and stuff like that. Fucking me up, man.
That's what they do. But yeah, Joe Dante would be really cool to see. He'd be good.
That would be a neat one to get.
That'd be good. I think one guy I wish I would have got his autograph, but I didn't. But I ended up talking to him for about an hour and a half. Is Nathan Basil from Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. I talked to him and I didn't get his autograph. Whoops. And I always kick myself for not doing that because the guy is super smart. He's really nice. He was answering all kinds of questions and everything. And that character in that movie was just so. It wasn't original, but it was. Brilliant. But they took something and made it original. They took something and made it original. And yeah, just that's one of my all-time favorite movies. And Nathan Basil, I think, was a great guy. And I just haven't had the opportunity to meet him again. I met him once in San Antonio.
It'll come around. He'll be coming to Texas soon, I'm sure.
I hope so. I really hope so. I really do. But
whether it's Colt or one of the three.
It's one of the three. Hopefully,
it's a great movie. Yeah, actually, I saw it for the first time. I think 3 years ago. I don't know how I missed it on the radar, but a good friend of mine, Sean Gilmore. I don't know if you know him or not, but huge horror collector, and he handed the DVD to me and said, "You need to watch this." And I was like, I checked it out, and it's different and very cool movie.
Well, yeah, like going back to that 2008 Texas Frightmare, Anchor Bay was there. They're there, and they're doing a giveaway. If you answer a trivia question, you got a handful of movies, or you got a few DVDs. And I answered a question, and he gave me a stack of movies, and that was in there. But at that time, the cover didn't look cool. The cover looked kind of cheesy and kind of bad. So I didn't give it much thought. And so finally, it was one day I was out of school, I was out of class, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch this movie. If it sucks, there's the movie exchange up the street. If it doesn't suck, I'll keep it and add it to my collection. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is really good. And I was hooked. And I was like, man, this is awesome. This is an awesome movie. And every time somebody would talk about a movie, I'm like, have you seen this movie? You need to watch it. It's low budget. You've probably never heard of it. It's got the one sister from Home Alone. She's in there. Watch it. You will like it. And yeah, it's just a great movie. Just a great movie.
Absolutely.
That's how I heard of it. Was Aaron was preaching the gospel of all things Leslie Vernon, and then I finally brought it. I was like, okay, I see what you mean.
It's different. It's very different.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's very different.
Smart.
But yeah, that's one of the guys. That's one of the guys I want to re-meet again. He was such a cool guy when I met him at that one time. So hopefully,
where was that?
Soon. It was at a convention. It was at a poorly done convention out of San Antonio called Terror Expo. It was called Terror Expo. It was by the same people who put together the Alamo City Comic Con. Okay. They wanted to have a convention, one at the beginning of summer and one at the end of summer. And the only problem is that they invested a whole bunch of money into all these guests because they brought in a lot of people, like a lot of big hits they brought in. Unfortunately, they didn't advertise. They didn't promote it. They didn't do anything. So you had Robert Englund, you had Kane Hodder, you had Elvira, you had Herschel from The Walking Dead, you had Nathan Basil, you had Sid Haig, Bill Moseley, you had two of the Cenobites from Part 3. You had Yeah, you had one of the Andys from the Chucky series, from the Chucky movies. And this was 2015 or 2016.
Okay.
And yeah, you had all these like kind of semi big name, these big names in horror, and the convention was dead. It was completely dead.
That's mind blowing.
Yeah.
No
Oh
kidding.
yeah. I was like, because I literally sat and me and my friend, we sat and talked to Bill Moseley and Sid Haig for about 45 minutes because there's nobody in line. Nobody was coming up to see them because there was nobody there.
And you said Robert
Makes no
Englund was there too?
sense.
Robert Englund and Elvira had the biggest lines.
Oh, I'm
Well,
sure,
of
yeah.
course.
Those two had the biggest lines. And yeah, there was like there's nobody else there. Ken Fourier was there too.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So yeah, you
Joe
had
Grizzly was there.
Joe Grizzly was there.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
love that guy.
So you had all these people there, and there's nobody that there's no fans because they didn't promote it. They didn't promote it at all.
Yeah.
Somebody got shit canned for that one, man. That makes no sense.
And to make it kind of worse is that there's only maybe a total of like maybe 20 vendors there selling stuff. So again, it was a small convention that had star power, but no promotion. There's nobody.
And only
I don't
20
get it.
vendors.
Yeah, it was only around 20 vendors.
That's not
So-
enough vendors.
And like I'll say this, the biggest I guess most popular vendor there was Paul Bearer Press. They were like
Who is a great, we love Paul Bearer Press.
Yeah, Paul Bearer Press is amazing. I'm not talking down to them or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, with Paul Bearer Press being there, T-shirt Joe was there as well, and then you had all those horror icons. There were no fans because they didn't know about it.
Shout out
Nobody
to
knew
Joe
about it.
Garcia. We love you, Joe Garcia.
Oh, T-shirt Joe's awesome. He's amazing. I mean, or Mexican Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's always cool. I love Joe.
For sure.
I always
Fast
pass him a
custom
beer.
shirts.
Yes.
I got plenty of his shirts, man. He's got some good stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Definitely.
So yeah, it was just depressing, that convention. And this is when
that sounds like it. Actually, wish I was kind of in attendance there. I could have got a lot. I'm really not looking forward to getting in Robert Englund's line at Frightmare at the end of the month.
Oh no!
I already know what I'm in for. Luckily,
Yeah.
I'm going there Thursday night, so I'm going to probably go camp out in where his line starts around 2:00 on Friday before people start showing up. So,
good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Bring a cooler and bring some extended batteries for your phone.
I have an amazing Freddy Part 2 bust made by Paul Bailey that I would like to get signed over there. And his lines are going to be pushing 6, probably even close to 7, 8, even longer this year. I expect it's going to be packed over there. It's going to be ugly.
No, it will. It always is. Especially if Mondo is going to be back there again this year. It's going to be packed. The lines are going to be crazy because I know Mondo always has a long line just to deal with them, and then you have the celebrities that are going to be there too. So it's always something big. So they kind of start edging toward the end of the episode and everything. For Houston Horror Film Fest, I'm just going to read off some of the names that are coming because we haven't really talked about the guests. All of the names that you have up or that are up on the website.
So far, there's some great names that are about to be announced that I'm sworn to secrecy. So,
okay. Well, going off the website, we got CJ Graham. And if you don't know he's Jason from the Jason Lives movie. So he's a big hulking man. He's a big dude. He's going to be there. You got Rachel True from The Craft. And I'm just going to say this. I've seen Rachel out at Texas Frightmare and other conventions. She has not aged. Or if she has aged, you wouldn't know because she's
beautiful. I'm excited to meet her.
She's amazing.
That's one of my big ones for this.
Is Rachel True?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
I'm excited about her.
I'm just gonna say this that if Brandon from Colt 45 had heard about this, he would probably be there first in line for her. Yeah, I think he's got a big crush on her still.
She's got that Stacey Dash thing going on. Where you just
doesn't age. She just doesn't age,
man.
And then you have one of the leather faces, Andrew Brzezinski.
Brian
Arski, sorry. If you go back, speaking again of Colt 45, if you go back and listen to Brandon's interview with Andrew, And he talks about the panel that he did at Comic Palooza with Andrew. It is crazy.
Yeah.
He played Leatherface. He also played Zangief in the Street Fighter movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I would say go back and listen to Colt 45's Patreon episodes where he talks about Andrew and the story that must not be told outside of Patreon, and enjoy that. Just enjoy that.
Shit. Okay.
Oh
I
yeah,
have to go. I probably haven't heard that. Then that doesn't ring a bell. I gotta go check that out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got quite a resume of movies too. Like the longest, not the longest yard, excuse me, but the Any Given Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a real big guy. Obviously, he played Leatherface 2003. So he's
real big guy. He's a party animal. Definitely a party animal. Child's Play 1 and 2, or Child's Play 1. We got Alex Vincent, Andy. If you don't know, he's a pretty cool guy. I've seen him once or twice before. He's really cool. Christine Elise from Child's Play 2. She was the stepsister.
Amazing. We're happy to have them.
She was great in the Chucky series. She was really good. I enjoyed her character coming back. Speaking again, Halloween remake. We got Danielle Harris and Scott Taylor Compton. They're going to be there, which is great. I know Danielle has made the rounds for horror conventions. Scout Taylor, I haven't really seen her much make the rounds, but it's always cool to see them both there. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then
she's strikingly beautiful in real life.
Yes, she is.
You wouldn't know until you see her there. I'm sorry, Scout, if you're listening, but as soon as you see her in person, wow.
Yes,
she's gorgeous.
She still is. I've seen her on Instagram. She still is. And this one kind of surprised. This next one kind of surprised me, and this is what got my attention because I've never seen this guy do conventions. I've never seen him pop up anywhere, and it's Tom Arnold. Like he was in Freddy's Dead.
I know.
He was in Freddy's Dead. He was been in a few other movies, True Lies and all that. But Tom Arnold is going to be at this convention.
Surprise.
Very much surprised. I was not expecting him at all to be there. That's for me way out of left field.
What's he going to be promoting? What's it? Like,
I'm with you.
Is he like in a new film or something? A new series?
I don't know. I mean, he's in Freddy's Dead, and that's the only horror movie I could think of is that one.
Yeah, definitely. That's the only one I can think of. I don't think he's lined up or anything, but he seems to be a draw. So
nice.
Let's bring him in.
So yeah, that's something. And then you have David Bourne from Texas Chainsaw. You got the little kid, the little sister from Hereditary. Another movie that's also kind of that's A24, right? Hereditary.
A24,
yeah. Another one
of my ones that I'm excited about.
You know what? I saw Hereditary. I didn't get it. I didn't like. Well, I take that back. I got it. I just wasn't entertained.
Yeah, I get that. A lot of people weren't.
I just wasn't entertained. But I did love Midsommar. I loved Midsommar. Thought that was great.
Yeah, pretty well.
Hereditary.
I loved all three. Yeah, The Witch. I loved all three of them.
Yeah. So, Millie Shapiro. That's the name. She will be there. Which I think now she looks completely different than what she looked like in Hereditary. Doesn't look the same.
She does. She's growing up a little bit. I mean, there's definitely a resemblance.
Yeah, semi resemblance, but she hit puberty, and she looks different now. So
she's coming into her own.
Yeah, like just kind of like that goofy kid from was it not Road Trip? He's gonna be Adam Warlock in the Guardians 3.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh no,
he was a Maze Runner. He was in that one trip with Jennifer Aniston where they're trying to smuggle drugs across the border. He looks like he looks like the human version of Sid from Toy Story. And he went from looking goofy looking to looking somewhat better now, and he's going to be Adam Warlock. So that's again, once you hit puberty, you start looking better for some of these people. Moving along, you got Marshall Virtue from Valentine. That's the masked killer, right? That's the cherub.
That's the cherub killer.
That's the cherub killer. So you got Dolly from Dragula. That's I think I've seen him before someplace else. But
you should the amount of likes that our Facebook page got when we posted him. was insane.
Really?
Apparently, that's going to be a big draw for us.
Well, do you think it's just people who have clown
sure
fetishes?
We're going to sell a lot of photo ops with him.
Well, there are people who have a lot of clown fetishes, and so I think that will drag them in.
Yeah.
Well,
And then this one, this next one is something that honestly, until I saw the movie, I wouldn't have wanted anything, but I loved his version of the character. This one also got my attention too. And that's Michael Hargrove. If you don't know who he is, he's the latest Candy. He was the latest. How would you call it? Like the legacy character of Candyman. And I can't really say too much because there are still some people who have not seen the new Candyman that need to see it. And I'm using the term legacy character because when you watch it, you'll understand.
Yeah,
you'll understand. But
his character was great on the new movie.
Yes, very good. That I know a lot of people don't like Jordan Peele for his style of his take of his horror, but I like this Candyman. I liked Get Out. I just got Paramount, so I'm going to check out his Twilight Zone series to see how that is. His only blemish is the movie Us. I didn't like it.
I agree. That's the only one I don't like.
Yeah, that's the only one I don't like was Us. But I loved Get Out. I loved this Candyman. Thought it was really good. So to see the character there, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm down for that. I would definitely want to meet him. And so now you've got some House of Thousand Corpses alumni. You got Walter Phelan and Jennifer Jocelyn.
Absolutely. Very cool right there. All Rob Zombie fans come out.
Yeah. Come see them. Come see those characters. Come see these actors. I mean, they're going to be there. Then we got Terry Meacham from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Pam.
That was Pam.
Yeah.
Tiffany Shepis from Victor Crowley. Yep. And despite what people think, I am not Brian Q. I do not get royalties from Victor Crowley, the movie. I do not get royalties from Impractical Jokers. I do not get royalties from Tell 'em Steve Dave. Yes, I'm sure. I've been in the same room with Brian Quinn, and there's picture proof of that. I am not him. But Tiffany Shepis from Victor Crowley will be there. And then we got and now this next guest again. I would have never thought of this person at all, but it's really cool because I remember seeing this movie and Casper in the 90s. If you're a young kid who read Goosebumps, you probably saw Casper the movie with Christina Ricci. So you got Kathy Moriarty, who was the lady trying to get rid of the ghosts in the house to get the treasure. She wanted it out there, and she's going to be at a Houston Horror Film Fest.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And you got John Abrams. If you don't know who he is, then you probably don't remember Scary Movie, the first one.
Yeah.
He was the boyfriend in Scary Movie.
Oh, man.
Yeah. He was the one trying to get with Cindy.
That was the one with the freezer scene, right?
Yes.
In the meat locker or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. How can we forget?
No, the bed scene where he the shooting, like after he cuts the bush, he goes flying into the ceiling. The boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Scary Movie. The boyfriend from Scary Movie.
So I'm just saying, for some reason, was it part 1 or part 2 where he was getting the handy in the freezer?
That was part 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was part 2.
All right, never mind.
That's part 2. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. You got Mark Patton. You know,
ooh, that's
the one movie that gets the most hate in that series, as well as the most love in that series. It's either you hate it or you love it.
Very divided. Yeah, very divided.
Very divided. And then you have a cult movie, Popcorn. You got Jill Schoelen.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Popcorn.
80s horror. Yeah, you love it. 80s horror.
Popcorn's a great undiscovered cult classic of a movie. It's very underrated. I know it got re-released on Blu-ray recently with I think it was through Shot Factory. I want to say Shot Factory.
I think so, yeah.
Or Severin or one of the ones. And it's such a good movie. It needs more attention to it. If you can find that movie, go watch it. You will definitely like it. It has one of the most memorable box arts with the skeleton pulling away the mask full of popcorn, like the face mask full of popcorn. It's really cool looking. It's definitely one to watch. But she's going to be there. Jill's going to be there. And then finally
cool.
on the list, you've got Leslie Dean from 976 Evil. She was the girlfriend from 976 Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Director was Robert Englund on that one.
he was.
Yep. That's pretty dope.
He definitely was. So, I mean, the guest list you have right now is really good. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. And
Definitely.
And like I was telling you before the show, like before we started recording that, whenever me, Chris, and our group went to go see Infinity War at the Marquee, the theater at the Marquee, when we were coming out, we saw this this little stand promoting Houston Horror Film Fest.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and we were like, hey, let's go check it out. We want to go check it out. But we didn't get to. We talked about doing it, and I think one of us even won free tickets to it, but we just couldn't make it. We weren't able to make it.
Oh, that's a shame. You weren't at the last year's?
No, it was not. That was
Dude,
not.
adulting is
you got to fix that this year.
Yeah, I got kids, man. It's hard.
Unless
it's family friendly. Unless it's family friendly, it's hard. Because one kid, my daughter, she's not a big fan of it. My son, I think he likes it, but he doesn't understand it. So until he's able to kind of understand what's actually happening in the movie, I got to kind of keep him away from it. Gotcha. But he loves it. But I mean, he enjoys Scooby-Doo. He enjoys like the Courage the Cowardly Dog. You know, some of these these more spookier cartoons, he likes it. I know he was able to get a hold of like the Addams Family cartoon series. And he's been loving that. So,
nice.
So he's getting there, but I need to kind of have him understand the concept of horror before he doesn't understand what he's watching. So,
yeah,
there's always that. But yeah, I do want to attend. I would love to attend. But yeah, it just comes down to the cost to go, as well as finding sitters and stuff to attend this thing, because it is local. And I always support local stuff. I'm always a big supporter of local stuff. So it looks great, and it's July 22nd through the 24th.
Yes,
at the Houston Marriott, the West Chase Marriott, which is actually that's like 10 minutes away from me. That's like literally 10 minutes away, if even less. So I'm gonna have to go check it out. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, we'd love to have you there.
I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to. So, the guest list is pretty cool. So.
Oh yeah, man, it's solid.
Definitely solid. It's definitely a solid list. Chris, you think about you want to attend or?
Me, of course. I mean, I just gotta let me know. When we're gonna, what day we want to go and stuff like that. Because what, 2 days?
It's a
3
day.
3 days.
22nd, 23rd, 24th.
Okay, yeah, whichever day you want to land on, man. You if you want to go
check it out.
Yeah,
go check it out.
I mean, I'm definitely. I might be able to get my mother-in-law to go because.
Oh yeah,
she's a horror fan.
Hey, awesome. bring in Cindy too. She says she likes the stuff.
Kidding. That's right.
It's a big family feel out there, you guys. It's just like a big horror family, you know.
Definitely. So, Joe, it's been a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything you want to plug right now? Go ahead and plug anything you want to do right now. Plug the group. Plug where they can find you. Plug the show or the event. Go ahead.
Houston Horror Film Festival official Facebook group. Come check it out. Come join us. Houston Horror Community Facebook group. Come join us if you guys are local here in Houston. We're just trying to build the biggest horror family. You know, we try to do group events and anything that we can do. There's going to be. I don't know if I can say this yet, but we've been doing the pop-up markets too, the one-day events, and there may be a whole lot more. I don't know if I can say it or not right now, but
well, just to kind of give you a heads up, this episode probably won't come out for at least 5 to 6 days from now. So if you think that's past the time of announcement, you go ahead and say it. If not,
no, it's not the. It's just I know that we're looking at. We used to have them like we'd have the big one in June. It was last year. This year it'll be July. And then we had maybe 3 or 4 pop-up markets going on throughout the year, which has been amazing because it gives a horror fan something to do throughout the year. You know, you're not waiting for once a year.
Yes.
Or we're looking at maybe. I mean, we have the we have Bob Elmore coming up at Misfit Toys. I forget the date. It's coming up in 20 days from today, guys. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, but come meet Bob Elmore from Leatherface from Part 2. He was a stunt Leatherface. There's going to be a lot going on that day. It's going to be a get together, and then we're gonna try to. I hope I don't get in trouble. We're going to try to pull once a month events going on. So every month we can all get together and as horror fans and enjoy the things that we do. So
yes,
vendors, everything. We love our vendors. We've got a lot of vendor friends. We got a lot of podcasters that we're friends with, obviously. And guys, thank you for having me too, man.
No problem.
Really appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, thanks for coming on again. And if you want that announcement for that Leatherface, they should go to that Facebook group, Houston Horror Film Fest, and
Absolutely.
You'll get all the
it's
announcements
pinned at the top of both of them.
You'll get all those announcements.
Yeah, Misfit Toys Montrose, the Montrose location.
Montrose, okay.
If you give me just a second, I can look.
That's no problem. Well, are you on Instagram or like where can they find you?
If you find me on, I'm on my regular, I'm on regular Facebook as Joe Denton. But if you want to find me on Instagram, Monster in My Room, that's where I kind of show off my horror collection and fun stuff like that.
Awesome,
Nice.
Awesome. And again, man, thank you for coming on. Thank you for
thank you so much
talking with us and everything.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I plan to have Scott on because. Again, the thing is that I've sort of worked. I was sort of part of the same company with Scott when I was a part of Comic Palooza. He was also there as well, but we never really interacted much. Much. And
he'd be interested, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and the thing is that I think the last year I was there at Comic Palooza, I scheduled his podcast. I was the person who was doing all the podcast scheduling for that, and he seemed okay with the spot I gave him. I guess I don't know. But I hope he was okay with it. But yeah, I definitely want to have him on too. And I would definitely want to have Drew Marvick on. Yeah, he's always a really cool guy.
Absolutely.
Want to have him on. And so again, thank you for joining us. And yeah, we'll share the link to when this episode drops, we'll share the link to the Facebook group. We'll do all of that. That way we could drive traffic to there to really promote this thing because when I saw this thing a few years ago, it's always been on the back of my mind. I want to attend. I want to go to this because I love horror. Horror is my life. Even though I'm the one of 4 people in this household that's like living that life, it's a thing that I want to attend. So I'm going to do my damnness to try to make it out there. And if Chris goes with me,
get out there if you can.
Awesome. I'm going to try my damnness to get out there.
Man, let me tell you, the after parties, the VIP parties, they're insane.
Oh man!
If VIP tickets are still available, hey,
they are not, unfortunately.
Well then, okay then.
Well, he was saying though, if you did have a ticket,
they went pretty fast, and they usually do. Best thing to do, best advice I can give you if you ever want to attend one of these shows, VIP, get them early. As soon as you hear it announced, if you're able to, get them because they're going to go.
Hey,
Sounds like
wise
it,
words.
Jeez.
Wise words. There's a lot of horror conventions that when they have the VIP and they announce it, they always sell out pretty quickly. I know Frightmare sells out quickly.
I've never been able to get my hands on one of those.
I had one friend who got one by accident because he clicked the wrong tab when they're buying your tickets.
Really?
And so he got the VIP. And he didn't realize what he did until he got his credit card statement in. And the wife was like, "What's this $300 charge?"
Right.
I thought the tickets were $70. Why is there $300 charge? And it's for the VIP.
Those ones are high.
Yeah, like even Horror Hound and all the other ones that are out there throughout the country, especially to the East Coast. Woo! Those are Walker Stalker Con. Those VIP tickets. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you again for coming on. And I know my co-host is going to ask you a question because you're local to Houston, and it involves a Houston staple. So before we end this episode, I know he's going to ask you this: yay or nay? Chris, go ahead.
Joe, Pancho's Mexican Buffet. Good restaurant or great restaurant?
Or terrible restaurant?
Poncho's Mexican Buffet. Where is it located? I've never even
Exactly. He doesn't
What?
know
You've
either.
never been to Poncho's and you live in Houston? Madness.
What part of Houston?
There's like 2 of them left. So
Well,
there's
there
one.
were plenty. There were plenty. Not anymore.
Oh,
There's
you know
one-
what? You know, I have heard about it, but I've never eaten there.
Oh man, you got to, man. You got to do it once. It's part of it.
You know, I love
Get your
Mexican food.
Houston
I
card.
try to eat at every Mexican food place I can go to.
Well, like
Exactly.
you say that until you eat there, and once you do, your stomach's gonna be like one and done with that
Listen,
place.
Aaron's just drinking a lot of Haterade, man. Don't listen to that mess.
No,
he's
like no,
talking.
you raise the flag for soba peas, and you raise the flag to surrender your stomach. It's not a fun time.
Right.
Look, dude, there's a lot of people who suffer from IBS. There's no shame in admitting it. It's okay. It's just a thing that people have. It's alright. It's fine.
Yeah, and terrible, bad poncho syndrome, IBS.
Anyway, yeah.
Oh, okay. So we have to ask. We have to ask. Or
Yeah,
he has
sure.
to ask. So with that being said, again, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be back again next week with more front row negative craziness.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm Aaron,
I am that boy, Chris.
and we had Joe Denton on, and thank you for listening. And just remember, always unfollow, never unfriend. And until next time, fuck punk.
This has been a Cross the Streams Media Podcast.